Welcome to the event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments, but before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact, we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises, that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Happy full moon time, happy eclipse time. So glad we're here together. I think you'll find that this is a really nice thing to do in a time like right now. And pretty much you can kind of say it all the time, because any time that we're taking a little bit of time to make sure that our energy is good, that our mind is nice and clear and intuitive, we have a genuine sense of connection to what our lives are all about. Doesn't mean we understand totally what our lives are all about. You know, how could we? It's a great mystery. But sense of purpose, sense of meaningfulness in life. And that also doesn't mean you know exactly what your purpose is. And sometimes we put such a box around that idea. We all want that. We all want sense of purpose. We all really need that, even just to feel happy. And a sustained happiness. We can feel happy just sometimes because something nice is happening. We're enjoying what we're doing at the moment. But then if we're not enjoying what we're doing at the moment, we feel unhappy. Yet when we have greater sense of mission, sense of purpose, and I don't mean mission in some like missionary way at all, none of this kind of proselytization, wanting other people to think and believe the same way that you think or I think, or none of this nonsense, but rather just encouraging people to be themselves, and that at the center of all of us is love and intelligence and the basic goodness of a living being's nature. And to try to uplift that and try to bring that out in ourselves. And then when we get some real happiness for ourselves, we can also maybe be helpful in others also becoming more and more happy, but not because we're teaching them necessarily or telling them how things should be or any of that, but just like a smile, genuine warmth of the heart. Genuine happiness transmits without anything. You can always just feel it. You can feel a kind person. You can always feel a kind person. You can feel when somebody is genuinely interested in your well-being. You can just feel that. And so we want that. We want others to feel that from us, don't we? We would feel happy about that. So that's what really this is all about, yoga practice, getting the life force to be well concentrated in the nervous system so there's less anxiousness and less worries and less insecurity and less fear and less bursts of rage and anger and less depression and less sluggishness and complacency and indifference. These are all the things we experience as human beings. So it's not saying, we're not shooting for some idea of perfection where we're not going to have all the array of the different feelings and emotions and desires. It's just that we don't want to be dominated by them. So to the extent that it takes us out of our real character and our sense of what we are and who we are and what our lives are all about. Because there's so many things in life, especially nowadays, that are competing for our energy, competing for our attention. And so this little journey we're going to go on together. We'll do yoga exercises. All you need is your breath, body. Anybody can do it. And it's a little bit of a learning experience. It's your first time ever doing it. It's kind of just like jumping in the pool. Let's learn to swim that way. And it works. Anything you need to modify. Please feel free. Take care of yourself, but do your best to try to stay in it. And even if you have to disengage some of the physical part of it or the breath part of it, keep your eyes closed down if you can, if that's what we're doing at the time. And then just bring your attention to the flow of your breath. This is an hour or so of paying attention to the more subtle parts of what we are, because it's the subtle parts of us that's long-lasting. One day you have to travel through the door of death. All of us have to do that. It'll be the subtle parts of us that will be most important at that time. Because we know the body won't continue on. The body sheds. We know that. So the brilliance of meditation practice, yoga practice, it connects you more intimately with your subtle nature, which is your long-lasting nature. It's the part of you that as you grow older, it actually gets better. You have more wisdom, you have more contentment, because you're growing more and more into actually who you are and having greater wisdom about what this all is. And wisdom is something that's not intellectual. Wisdom is something that is alive inside of us. It's when wisdom is not coming from a belief. Wisdom comes from our experience. The more we experience love, the more we experience purpose, the more hardships that we have, and we come out of those hardships loving more deeply, that gives you wisdom. That gives you wisdom. But also sometimes it is the case is there's hardships and we don't come out of it loving more deeply. We come out of it with more resentment, or more bitterness, and that causes us disease. And so we don't come out of those things with more bitterness and resentment because we're bad people. It's just that we at some level lacked the vitality to maintain a joyful heart, to maintain a compassionate heart, to maintain a sense of greater purpose in life. And so what yoga practice does is not only give vitality to the tissues of your body, your skin, so it has more luster, your eyes, so they have more brightness, the muscle tissue, so that it have more vigor, the blood, so that it has more kind of vitality, the waters and the fluids of the body, so they have more moisture, so you feel more juicy, you feel more inspired for life, you have something to get you out of bed in the morning. But the yoga practice also works at the more, once again, subtle levels. And the first step when we say subtle levels is we're talking about the life force. What in yoga we call the prana, from the great wisdom basket of ancient India. But they understood this stuff all over the world. And in the Chinese, they call qi. And all the different indigenous traditions around the world have some name for your life force. That which is beating your heart and that circulates the blood, that which rotates the earth. That's what they call prana with a capital P, is the life force living kind of intelligence, love intelligence. What is it that causes the rivers to run downstream and the earth to rotate and the gravitational pulls and all the physics of nature. Nobody can answer that question, but we do know experientially there is a life force. There is a life force that keeps us alive, that keeps our heart beating. And when that life force leaves the body, heart stops beating. Yeah? Life force, prana, chi. And so the yogis understood and have this fantastic, sophisticated understanding of the human anatomy at the subtle level. The human anatomy. And that's why when you go to an acupuncturist and they know how to put the needles there, and all you did was lay down on the massage table and started snoring, and then you came out after the appointment was over and you felt fantastic. Much more than a nap, just a nap. Because they know how to open the channels to get the chi flowing. This is a system of yoga practice that knows how to open the channels and get the chi flowing. But furthermore, that's a great starting point, because once you have the chi flowing, now the mind gets more clear. Now, very naturally, sense of purpose is not some mystical thing. It's the most natural thing, but we have to allow ourselves to blossom. We have to allow ourselves, we have to be on the journey of endeavoring to be ourselves. Less masks. But that's a process. We can only do it with little baby steps, because we have to feel safe enough. We have to feel comfortable in our body. And so part of the great path of the human life is self-love. We have to take care of ourselves, and we have to nourish ourselves and nurture ourselves so that we have the vitality to live, and so that we have the vitality to live creatively. And when you live in a creative fashion, you realize that actually we become happier and happier when we add to life. When we add to life. Even in the most seemingly mundane of our daily tasks, of washing the dishes perhaps, of taking care of the kids, of bringing them to school. These are things that a lot of us, we do every single day. The infinite cycle of dishes and laundry, domestic things. This is called householder yoga practice. It's not something where you're really encouraged to go to find an ashram somewhere or a monastery somewhere, or go into the forest for long periods of time, but rather to actually turn your seemingly mundane world into the landscape of the great story of your life and to blossom through it. That's the idea of the grist ashram, as they say, is that where it's everything becomes your ashram. Everything becomes the kind of the sanctuary of your life's heroic journey. And that's a courageous disposition to take, because that includes everything. So all the things we don't like, all the things we do like. So then what ends up happening with a little bit of consistency of this types of practice, that actually can become the lens in which we're seeing things through. Instead of trying to change so much of our outer world, if we can transform the inner world, then the outer world also transforms. And the nice thing about that is you have power over your inner world. We don't really have much power over our outer world. You can't, if that relationship is going to end, sometimes you cannot stop it from ending. Because it's not just you in the relationship. There's another person, and they're on their way out. Sometimes you're on your way out and they wish it would stick around. But this is the physics of life. So some of those circumstances, even the ones that sometimes we're the most certain about, those things we can't control. But we can control our inner world with effort. But that's the best type of effort. Putting a little bit of consistency and a little bit of discipline into our lives to take care of the most important thing, the only thing that will travel with us when we pass through the gate of our last breath. So when that relationship is being cultivated, my experience, everything else in life improves. The relationships improve. The work life improves. The prosperity improves. But you have to try. You have to put it to the test. And that's just called the natural, organic blossoming of a human being into a really someone who is genuinely connected to what their life is about. And thus they're magnetic and happy. And we all know that, and we all already have a lot of that. So it's not to say, like, there's all of these people over here that are connected to their purpose, and they're hanging out magnetic over there. No, it's already you. It's already each of us. You're a magnetic being. That's what we are. We are drawn towards certain things and we're repelled away from certain things. The problem, what kind of stifles the magnetism is the disruptions of the psyche, of the mind, the emotional body. So therefore, what something like Kundalini Yoga is saying, stop getting caught up in all the dramas of the mind. Get the chi to concentrate, prana to concentrate in your central nervous system. All that stuff will start to relax. Open the lens. Get a wider scope, a wider perspective of what this may be all about by connecting into your subtle energy, life force. Life force is the great bridge between the mind and the body. And so what we're going to do is these exercises to put the body and the mind and the chi, the prana, life force, all in kind of one synchronized rhythm. We're going to go on a little journey together, and we're going to use the kind of symbology of this eclipse, of this full moon, to see if we can bring a little spark of magic into our life. So we can actually kind of give this a little try. How well can I shape my reality? And the yogis have always talked about during eclipse times the effects of one's practice, the effects of one's prayers, the effects of one's mantras, which are really considered, in a certain way, the most important tool in the yogic toolkit is mantra practice. You can't see mantras, so it doesn't make a lot of the commercials or books, or it's not maybe what's popularized part of yoga, but in a certain way, it's the most important part of yoga because it's the part that's working so directly with the beam of your mind, the flow of the thought pattern, the emotional pattern, the desire pattern. And so when you give the mind a mantra, which man is like mind and tara is like wave. So it's a mantra is simply a wave of the mind. During a yoga practice, you're saying, oh, my mind, during this time from when we begin, we just kind of tuned in until when we seal the practice at the end, that's a time where the mind is being asked to do something a little bit different than what it's ordinarily used to doing. It's ordinarily used to taking care of all the things of the day and going kind of wherever it may please. During a yoga practice, you're actually disciplining the mind. Now, you learn very quickly that the more intensely you try to discipline the mind, the more it fights back at you. So it has to be a little softer. Almost sometimes it's like you have to flirt. You have to make it more like a courtship. You have to be soft and feminine as well as kind of disciplined and masculine. And in that way, the yoga practice is just as much of an art as it is a science. And it starts to become something that you love, something that you do on the regular that helps you simply feel good, feel yourself, feel real in your body, feel confident in your mind, have a sense of your attractiveness. So everybody has it. You tap into it. That's the idea, okay? So here we go. We're going to go on this beautiful practice. And we're going to start, and your anchor point always for really any moment of any of these exercises is your breath. And so when your mind starts to wander away, natural, no problem. Ease it back into your breath. Please come on the hands and knees. And we'll start practicing cat-cow position. So you're going to be inhaling, the head is coming up, exhaling, the head is coming down, and create a nice, easy, smooth rhythm. The breath is through the nose. Beautiful. Keep going. Spread your fingers wide. And it's less at this point of trying to make a stretch of the muscles of your back, and it's more, as you can see, like some of the folks here, you're making a nice suppleness of your spine. There's no real pause between the two positions. You close your eyes down, and you put the body and the breath together. Now, what about a mantra? At first, don't worry about a mantra. Just listen to the sound of your breathing. And you can almost imagine like your breath is the mantra. Your body is chanting via your breath. By giving the mind something to dwell on, you start to concentrate the body's energy. Normally, our energy is dilute because it's traveling this way and that way via all of the narratives and activities of our very busy minds. So these little practice we're doing is most difficult for the first 10 to 15 minutes because the mind is not yet cooperating. But stay with it. Another 35 seconds. It's making the spine nice and supple. Through the nose, breathe. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down. Push all the breath out. Draw your lower abdomen up towards your spine. And relax. Inhale and come sitting back up and sitting cross-legged. Good to have some water with you. Always when you're doing breathing practice, always have water with you. Stay hydrated because the air element and its ability to flourish depends on the water element. So always hydration to keep vitality good. Okay? Hands are here like on your shoulders, like so. And then your sit bones connected right down into the earth. Chest lifted out, shoulder blades released down. And then you inhale, let it swing to the left. Exhale, let it swing to the right. Through the nose, inhaling left, exhaling right. To the center, inhale deeply. Now suspend the breath in, eyes closed down. And hold the position just like this, and through your nose, exhale. Now deeply through your nose, inhale. And keep the breath in, yet relax your upper body. That's called suspension of the breath. And hold the position exactly like this, and through your nose, exhale. Now again, deep inhale, suspension of the breath, and then lifting of the root lock. That's lifting the rectal sphincter, sex organs, and navel point, just below your belly button, the abdomen, up and in. Hold the position just like this, exhale. And try that again. Please deep inhale. And first, suspend the breath. Breath in, upper body relax. Lift the root lock, rectum, sex organ, navel. Navel is your lower abdomen, up and in. And exhale, relax. Yeah? So we're starting to work with transformation of the chi, transformation of the life force. So in the exercises, you're putting it in rhythm, body, mind, life force. Then at the end of the exercise, often, almost always, it'll be inhale deeply. Suspension of the breath. Suspension of the mind. That's allowing the mind to be nice and open, spacious, not focusing on anything, not pushing anything away. It takes a little practice, but little by little, the more you do it, the more the mind's becoming not only relaxed, it's becoming spacious. So our minds are becoming more intuitive, greater perspective on our life. Yoga practice, opening the channels, opening the mind, so that we can kind of see the forest for the trees in our life and not get swung so powerfully by the dramas of our life, which will continue on and on and on and on always, yeah? So then all the dramas of life also help facilitate in the opening, because that's where we're learning the lessons. We're going through heartbreak, we're falling in love, we're having flows of prosperity, we're feeling contraction. All of those things start to teach us. But the first and foremost, it takes having a practice to keep the life force centered. Otherwise, those things tend to dominate us. We lose their perspective. Hands on the knees. So you say inhale up, exhale release. It's nice and soft. Let's through the nose. Every excess, let it release. Now squeeze up, inhale. Exhale. Take your hands back here, just like where we were. Sit bones connected down to the earth. Chest lifted up. That's why we use a little cushion, like you can see in the room here. So once again, inhale, let it swing to the left. Exhale, swing to the right. Close the eyes down. To the center, inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Suspend the mind. Lift the root lock up and in. Then exhale. Relax, hands back to the knees. Inhale, squeeze up the shoulders. Exhale, release. Stretch the legs open wide, please. Like a V shape, like so. Flex the feet. Try to please be right on your sit bones. Inhale to the center, turn to either side, exhale, folding down. Inhaling up, turn to the other side, exhale, folding down. Keep the chest lifted. Yeah, just move from the navel. Try not to collapse your heart. Try not to collapse your heart in an effort to touch your toes. Instead, every inhalation, please fill your lungs. And put your mind's attention on the breathing. Listen to the breath and to continue to deepen the breathing, opening the life nerve. Inhale to the center, and then exhale, fold down to the center, yet without collapsing your chest. Keep the chest elevated, the shoulder blades release, the chin in, feet are engaged, toes are engaged with energy, the groin area is nice and relaxed, the breath is flowing nice and deeply. It doesn't matter how far you're coming down. What matters is to close your eyes and to feel into your body and start to move the breath through the body. Start to reflect on the breath as a carrier of your life force. After all, when you stop breathing, that's it. Put your attention onto the great breath, the prana, the life force. And move it through the nose as long and as slow as possible. For another 15 seconds, keep your attention on that meditation. And inhale deeply. And exhale, relax. And shake your legs out a little bit. Okay, and come sitting again cross-legged. What you're going to do is your index finger comes to your thumb. And the palms are facing up. And you take a deep inhale. And then through your nose, exhale. And then we're going to take a deep inhale. And we're going to breathe in this way. With the rhythm, through the nose, light and easy. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Exhale. Inhale. It's through the nose. The exhalation and the inhalation of equal strength. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Through the nose, exhale. Again, inhale. Now inhale deeply. Suspend the breath in and lift through the root lock, rectum, sex organ, navel, and let the mind be nice and spacious, open and relaxed. Exhale. Bravo. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be chanting this mantra together. Sit, nam, sit, nam. This sit, nam, they call this the Panch Shabad. It vibrates what they call the 5 great elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. 5 sounds, sata, nama, ah. And so what the idea is with the mantra is that it gives you a sound current, a neutralized sound current. It's not an intellectual thing, to give your mind something to kind of move its energy with. And not only is it a sound to give the mind something to move its energy with, but it's a sound that has that is able to help the elements express themselves in their more creative fashion. Earth, water, more vitality, consistency, steadiness, love, less sluggishness, depression, indifference. Fire, more wisdom, radiance, warmth of presence, less anger, jealousy, envy, etc., rage. Air, ether, more enthusiasm, inspiration, connectivity to presence, subtleness, subtle presence, and less anxiousness, less worry, less doubt. There's more trust when you're connected. Okay? Trusting life. So, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit. Now here's what you do. Come sitting on your heels if possible. You can also sit on a chair. Those of you at home, you want to sit on a chair, feet flat on the floor. But what you're going to be doing is you take, and show the room, Aki, take your index finger and for the feminine, left thumb crosses over the right, and for the masculine, right thumb crosses over the left, and then you come up like so. And then the shoulder blades release and the index fingers extend up towards the ceiling. Okay? That's the position. And in this position, you close your eyes down and you start to chant this simple mantra. Sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam. And when you chant the mantra, when you say sit, nam, your navel lifts up and in. The abdomen just under your belly button, up and in. Sit. And when you say nam, it relaxes. So it's not jerky, it's just a little lift. Sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam. And pretty soon your mind will start to protest and bug out. And you just keep chanting. Use the lips, the tip of the tongue, sensitivity. Vibrate the sound. Use your body very much like a resonation chamber. Sit, nam, sit. Feel into what you would like to come out of your life in the season of your life. What is opening for you? What you wish would open for you? And then chant. Feel and chant. Sit, nam. Sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, sit, nam, sit. Eyes are closed. And as you continue chanting, using the tip of your tongue, Sut, and using your lips, Nam, Sut, Nam, and using your navel, every time you chant Sut, navel lifts up, Sut, Nam, Sut, Nam, Sut, Nam, Sut, Nam, Sut, Nam, Sut, Nam, Sut, Nam. Beautiful. Now, as you continue, Sut, draw the inner gaze up and in, the optic nerve, like where the root of your nose meets the skull bone, between the two eyebrows. See if you can relax your optic gaze in that area and continue to chant. Sut, Nam, 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 Sut, Nam. And the mind can become very agitated. The posture can be quite difficult. See if you can stay the course. Keep the chanting. When the thoughts come, the emotion comes, meet it with the mantra. And sooner or later, it will start to open and relax. Sometimes it takes the whole meditation to feel that. Sometimes it opens right away. Always, it does what it needs to do. The trick is to go a little longer than you probably want to. Get to the point where it's like, alright, this should be over. And then keep going. Almost there. Chant the mantra. Nam, Sut, Sut, Nam, 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 Sut. Sut, 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 na, 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 sut. 2 minutes. Stay the course. Less than 2 minutes. Third eye gaze. Draw the optic nerve up and in between the eyebrows. Allow it to relax there. Don't try too hard. The whole thing is endeavoring, as difficult as it may be, is to relax into it, go into it, and chant the mantra. Focus. Sit. And vibrate. Stay with it. Sit, num, 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 sit. Sit, num, sit, num, sit, num, sit, num, sit, num, sit, num, sit. Inhale deeply. Hold the position. Stretch through your fingertips. Release the shoulder blades down. Hold the position through your nose. Exhale. And please, the deepest inhale. Extend through the fingertips, release through the shoulders, lift through the root lock, rectum, sex organ, navel. Third eye gaze. Hold the position, exhale. Inhale. Extend through your fingertips, release through the shoulder blades, lift through the root lock, rectum, sex organ, navel, mind, spacious, open. Hold the position, exhale. Inhale, last times. Suspension. Root lock. Hearing the mantra resonate. Exhale, slowly relax. Please, just for a couple of minutes, very important, please come onto your backs and relax. That famous practice that you just completed is called Satkriya. Really fantastic for most everything. Human vitality, nervous system strength, glandular system balance, intuitive mind, healthy digestive function, and keeps the chi prana centered in the central channel, central nervous system, Sushumna. That gives the mind a deeper type of contentment, of relaxation, that helps the body feel really comfortable and alive. You know how when you feel that comfortable and alive? And this is how we can take care of ourselves with simple tools to make sure that we're keeping the main thing in our life, the main thing. What is meaningful? What is the path of the true heart? Only you can discover that for yourself. Relax. Inhale deeply. And exhale. And move the fingers and move your toes. And rotate the wrists and the ankles. And then make some friction in the hands, rub the palms, and make some friction in the, rub the soles of the feet. And cat stretch to each side. And then please hug the knees to your chest and rock a couple of times to come up. And so here's the final part, and really, to me, the best part of our journey, of our practice for this eclipse, for this full moon. And always at Life Force Academy, we try to work with the practices in the rhythm of whatever, whatever Mother Nature is giving us. And when we say Mother Nature, it's not just our Earth, it's the entire galaxy, it's the entire universe. the great mother of life. And so this eclipse is happening in the lunar mansion of what they call Hasta Nakshatra. The moon is in a different mansion every day, every night. That's what it's a lunar month. So 27 nakshatras or lunar mansions. From this just rich astrology of ancient India. And it's a more feminine zodiac. It's following the lunar month as opposed to the 12-month zodiac that is masculine in the solar sense. So anyways, every one of these lunar mansions has a symbol, and it has a Shakti, a power, it has a desire. And the symbol of Hasta, where we are now, it's in the central part of sidereal Virgo, and its symbol is the open hand and the closed fist. So on one hand, it's open hand. It's like bringing things into your life and bringing them and placing them in your hand. That's the Shakti, what they call the Shakti of Hasta Nakshatra, the ability to take whatever your desire is and bring it into your hand. When it's a closed fist, it also represents fighting. And so it is a nakshatra, it's a symbol of fighting. Now fighting can be all types of things. Fighting can be destruction and suffering. Fighting can be fighting for something good. Standing up for yourself. You have to fight for your happiness. So these are symbologies, or they're mythologies almost. They're archetypes that then you can tune into in our lives, and then it allows us to, because some of us are fiery. You're not going to not have fire. You're not going to not have anger. You will. But what is animating it? When you connect into that purpose, now that fire, you realize you need the fire for what your life is all about. Now that fire is part of your creativity. That fire is your ally, not your enemy. That powerful fire that some of us have. Some of us are much more watery. Some of us more airy. Some of us more creative. Some of us more scientific. We're all different. So it's finding you, and it's kind of glorifying you, understanding your unique instrument. Yeah? So Hasta, when it's in the open hand, is Shakti, is to bring into what your life, what you desire. So I always say, we're working with things like manifesting or actualizing something or endeavoring to bring something into one's life using the power of your own mind and your own energy, your own connectivity to life. I always try, make sure that first, let me connect as deeply as I can to what my life is all about. And then let the desires that I'm actually going to put my chi into be the ones, as much as possible, that can feel in great alignment with what my life is really about. Versus what we think we might want or what we may be desiring quite strongly, but maybe outside of what we know intuitively is our own path. Yeah? So you take your left hand to your heart, and you take your right hand cupped like so. Yeah? Your right hand is cupped like you're holding water in it. Okay? Feel that. Close your eyes. Left hand right on the center of your chest. Chest lifted. Shoulder blades released. Regal posture. Now make an O shape with your mouth and drink the breath through the O-shaped mouth. And then through the nose, exhale. And push all the breath out through the nose. Then again. And drinking the breath through the O-shaped mouth, slow and like it's a nectar. And then through your nose, exhaling. You have to do it how your body can do it. So just for you, what is slow, and for you, what is longer. Not beyond your capacity, within your capacity right now. Find slow and deep for you. And drink the breath like it's a healing nectar. Imagine creativity. And then exhale through the nose.
Near
Beautiful. Now keep going. For these next few minutes, try to hold your body perfectly still in the beautiful position, holding the cupped right hand is like your overflowing cup. Life always providing what it is that we need when we need it. So O-shape, pucker the mouth and sensitively drink the breath. It brings an inner bliss when you stay with it. And when the mind starts wandering this way and that way, it's no problem. Back to the breath. Enjoy the breath. Eyes closed down. After a few minutes, it becomes a little bit like a twilight zone. And you may find it helps to breathe a little bit deeper. To keep the concentration in the meditation. Anchoring your mind into the pranic breath, holding the body beautifully in the posture, feeling your own magnetic beauty. If you don't feel for the last couple of minutes, with every breath, drawing into your body, but also drawing into your life that which is what is your heart's desire. Love, prosperity, security. and drink the breath. Now stay the posture, but inhale deeply. And through an O-shaped mouth, with a rhythm, it'll go. Making the inhale and the exhale equal rhythm. Keeping your chest lifted and your heart soft. And the navel in the rhythm. Now keep the breath going and switch the hands. Now make both hands come out like so. Fingers firm. Inhale through the mouth. Make your fingers tight like steel and squeeze the spine deep. Through the mouth, through the O-shaped mouth, hold the posture, exhale. Inhale. Squeeze the spine, make your fingers tight like steel. Exhale. Inhale. Final time, squeeze the fingers tight, squeeze the spine tight. Spacious of the mind. And then slowly relax and exhale. And just keep the eyes closed. Relax the arms. Let the breath flow naturally. And just feel spacious of the mind. Soft, expansive of the heart. All your natural heart wishes communicates already through your very presence, your very mind. Nothing more powerful than the wish of the heart. And just sit in it for a moment. And take the hands in the prayer mudra. Beautiful job, everybody. Relax. Yeah, they always with with all yogic practices, and by yogic practices, any practice that is helping you kind of open up, blossom, become more of ourselves, circulate the life force, transform the mind, really. Transform the mind from a mind that is causing us more misery and to a mind that is causing us more happiness. We can all do that. And so they always open. There's always a way to open the practice, and then there's always the way to seal the practice. And then you move on. But having something that you're doing consistently like that, and maybe that's, once a week. You jump into a Life Force Academy class once a week, or you use some of the practices in the Life Force Academy, and you do them, you do a 15-minute practice once a day. There's so many ways to do it, and we'd love to show you that and to kind of guide you along that way. If you want a tool like this that you can really, just use your body and your breath to centralize the chi, to make the mind relaxed and intuitive, and to have the courtship of what is my life all about. We do practices on cycle with the rhythms of the moon. Following the cycles of nature, following the cycles of the moon helps us to stay attuned to our subtle nature, our most important subtle nature, our emotions, our feelings, our desires, to be attuned to what is the season of our life, what is its rhythm, what is life asking of me right now, what is the true wishes of my heart right now, and follow that. But that's not easy. It requires also some discipline. That's what Life Force Academy is all about. That's what we do. And I know a lot of us, we've met around the world at festivals and workshops, and some of you have traveled here to Northern California where we are and come to some of our immersions. But what we do really well, and it's where we put all our creativity and our resources, is to bring these experiences to you in your living room or wherever you are, so that no matter what time of the day it is, no matter where you are, you can access this stuff. You can take a class. You can, if you're really struggling, you can get inside a class and get a new perspective. Not only kind of learn things, but also just work with your chi, open things up. Just press play. It'll take you through it. Sometimes you don't want to do a whole class. You just want to do a practice. You go to the power practices. Just push play. Do the practice to have energy in the morning and to feel good and clear. Do the practice to rest and relax at night and have a beautiful, restful, revitalizing sleep. And to get in rhythm, so that we can really live our lives. It's a tool, and it's so helpful. And we do live classes every week. You can learn all about it. So we have such a library of classes for you, class series. You can't even do all that's in the Life Force Academy membership portal, but that's not what it's supposed to be. Some people just take the new live class each week, and that's how they use it. Some people just use the power practices. Some people use it all. And so it's really, I think, a really good deal to be a part of the membership portal, where you can be doing these practices with us all the time and use this time right now. And during these two eclipses, it's always a bit wonky during eclipses, and nothing's better than meditation practice, yoga practice in this season. And so if it's just $1 to try it out and see, but if you like this, you're going to love it. And then after the trial, the $1 trial, it's just $25 a month. It's not even the cost. It's about the cost of a yoga class in most places. And I think you'll find, and the music you've heard, all of this Life Force Academy produced music. You can see all about it, but if you're feeling the vibes, we do want to encourage you to do this work with us. And if you find that this is helpful, I think it could just be, for so many of us, it's working with these practices is really a true game changer in life, in the sense that at any time you have a tool that you can get into, reconnect to not only feeling good in the body, reconnect to our inspiration, keep the intuitive mind sharp. If you do annual, it's only $16 a month. Normally it's $19 a month if you do annual, but just for this full moon time, we're doing this. It's a really good deal. It's only $16 a month if you feel like, I'll totally commit to this for a year and do this. It's only $16 a month right now. So that's a really, really good deal. And either way, so happy that we all were able to do this together. And happy full moon, happy eclipse season. Please take care. It's a little wonky in between eclipses, so try to get good rest, stay hydrated, maybe not making all the big decisions of our life for a couple weeks at least. Solar eclipse coming in a couple weeks. Please join us for that broadcast. I know a lot of you doing the Ayurveda work right now. Our Ayurveda coursework is happening, is popping, and that's always an amazing thing. So lots of great things going on in Life Force Academy. And if this is we're first meeting for the first time, check it all out. And lots of love to you, your families. Happy full moon, happy eclipse time. I'll see you very soon. Satnam. It's hard sometimes to get into the great rhythm current of our life, because the mind is going after the pleasure and it wants to avoid the pain. There comes the practice of yoga, is to spend a little time each day getting your energy right inside of you, putting your energy in rhythm, centering your life force, your prana, so that the mind and the heart has nice sensation of the purposefulness of your life. And very naturally from there, let the day happen. There's a pure consciousness, a pure love, a pure intelligence at the nucleus of us all. And then Kundalini energy, the Kundalini process is allowing that energy to blossom into your life. This is about experiencing your innate goodness, your innate brilliance, your innate love, and experiencing the interconnected web of which we're a part of. So yes, it is purifying, but it's purifying the mind. The mind is what is being purified, not you. You are being glorified.